And the one on the list you didn't mention probably was the most controversial was embryo editing too. So I think all those technologies are advancing, and ultimately this comes down to, do we want to cure and treat disease? Do we want to give people more options to have children, or do we want to condemn them to infertility, right? And I think the Pew Research did a poll on this in America and a bunch of other countries, and they asked people, would you be okay with genetic editing to prevent disease? And like 80% of America said they'd be okay with that. Only 20% was skeptical. In other countries, oh, by the way, then they also asked, would you be okay with genetic editing for enhancement, not just disease prevention? And only 20% of America, or something, maybe 25, was okay with that. But if you looked at other countries like India, and I suspect China, although it was not in that study, it's probably like 80% are okay with it. So it really is cultural dependent, and there could be religious aspects to that. Like in China, it's more, I'm not an expert on this, but I think it's more of a Confucian-based society where they believe life starts at birth, not at conception. So anyway, it does tie back to some of those arguments. But the main thing for me is that, we want to use this as a tool to accelerate progress, right? So nature can be quite cruel. Like, it's a little bit of a lottery. When children are born, they could end up having some really terrible disease that is no fault of their own. It's actually like a form of genetic privilege, if you will, that some people are just born on third base, and some people have something that's really terrible and debilitating.